Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Halo Forge Epidemic. This is Paint, and I'm here today with a map preview. I've been working on a remake of my Halo 4 map, Drillsite. Now, if you're not familiar with Drillsite, this was, like I say, a Halo 4 map that was actually in the Flood playlist in matchmaking, and now I've brought it to Halo 2 Anniversary. So I guess for starters, I'll give you guys a short description of the map for those of you who haven't played on it. Drillsite is basically a free roam infection map that takes place on a drilling platform or an oil rig, whatever you want to call it. And there's multiple different looking holdouts throughout the map that kind of each lend to a different style of gameplay. This is largely due to the fact that there's so much verticality. You can really separate the levels and give them a different purpose or theme, while still kind of connecting them using things like lifts and ramps. So it's cool because you could be holding out at the bottom of the map and the infected will be spawning at the top, or you could be inside the warehouse up top trying to cover the various routes that lead to the upper platform. So with this map, I really wanted to capture the setting of what you would expect to find on an oil rig, and I wanted players to actually feel like they're on an oil rig, and make it so that when you look at the map as a whole, there's nothing hidden, there's nothing sticking out that would be otherwise hidden from the player's perspective. So it was actually quite the challenge. Because unlike forging on terrain that's already flat or even as hills, you can't just merge pieces into the geometry without worrying about them showing through on the other side. So you have to use pieces that serve their purpose, but don't actually have any extra structure that you would need to hide inside the map's geometry. So that was quite the challenge. Now the next thing I want to talk about is this picture here. This was actually the picture I used for a bit of concept art while planning the map out. Like I said before, I wanted people to look at this map and say, hey, that's an oil rig. So including some of the aesthetics you see in this picture in the actual map really helped me to push that theme even more. Now as for changes, Drillsite in Halo 4 had a few issues that led to some locations being extremely overpowered. If you camped in those areas with other survivors during the beginning phases of the game, it would be very frustrating to play as a Flood, because you just didn't have the numbers to overrun those holdouts. And what I did to eliminate this problem in Halo 2 Anniversary was nerf a lot of those spots that were previously overpowered. Now you can see first of all this brand new route which leads up to kind of near the helipad. It's not so much that I wanted to add another route up, but there needed to be another way to drop down to the lower level where people were going on some pretty crazy sprees. And I thought, well, why not have this new ramp leading to the upper level that infected can use as more of a sneak route when spawning on the bottom level. So that was kind of a bonus having that new route, considering I was originally planning on just having a drop down. And then I also added some GoldenEye pillars, as my friend calls them, to the lower area to kind of aesthetically support the upper level and also nerf some of those sightlines. The second area that needed nerfing was the warehouse. The warehouse is essentially a two-story building, and in Halo 4 it was pretty empty feeling, but after yet a few more changes I've managed to trim down the sightlines in the warehouse. I've also added some explosives in there to kind of keep the humans occupied shooting at the explosives so that they can gain some breathing room, but they'd have to earn it by shooting the explosives. You can also of course use those explosives against the infected if they get close enough. So the third change I made should completely nerf this otherwise overpowered camping area. The dock is what I referred to it as. Was a terrible kind of back to the railing holdout spot in Halo 4. So I went ahead and ripped off the back railing. The idea is that a ship has hit it and all the debris is kind of just floating there. The fourth change was adding infected respawns on the roof of the warehouse. And this is really going to give the infected the edge they need, seeing as they're more limited for movement options. You know, with no sprint or thruster pack, this change actually helped nerf the dock even more, because now the infected are able to really tower over the survivors when they're trying to hold out there. And the fifth and final thing I wanted to change on Drillsite was to make the weapons a little harder to find. So as you walk around the map, you'll have to have a little more awareness in scouting out weapons. But that's about it. If you guys have any other suggestions for changes to the map, go ahead and post them in the comments. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Paints with the Halo Forge Epidemic, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.